Hey guys, it's RobJ here, and in today's video I'm going to be introducing you to my new colony of Temnothorax pardoi. I'm sorry if I just butchered the species name, it's never been one of my strong suits. Before we get into the video, I would like to say that this video is sponsored by Ant Keeping Depot. So, let's get into my new colony. Now as you can see, that this is from Ants Davey, and he's got a great selection of ants on his website and some brilliant reviews, so I thought it was about time that I checked him out. So, as some of the keen-eyed viewers might notice, there are 2 test tubes, but one is being kept back for a few months' time. So let's focus in on the Acorn Ants, a species that I've never had before, and a tiny species at that. I'm quite excited. A few of the reasons I chose this species was they're good to look at, they're interesting to me, and they're something I've not had, and they sounded really cool when you read about why they're referred to as acorn ants. And as you can see, I got quite a healthy colony. You can see the queen there. This species is so tiny. The amount of zoom I had to use just to get them this big was a lot. But as you can make out the queen, she is on the back side there. But they are so small that it is really hard to see, hard to record, but the idea is to get them an Outworld. Well, because of their size, I don't have a nest that would adequately not give them too much room. And I thought an Outworld, they're never going to need a very large Outworld. So I thought for once, this Ant Space Outworld module, which is like a very small cylinder-based Outworld, could actually be an Outworld for a very long time for this species, if not permanently. It honestly all depends, but they're called Acorn Ants because the nest can live inside a single acorn. So I don't think we're going to have problems with room. So the idea is let them live in this test tube. And really conveniently, and this is obviously an accident, but Ants Davey supplies his ants in that just happens to be the exact same size of test tube that the test tube adapter works on. So it was a bit of a perfect scenario because we had a small Outworld that's never been used, a test tube adapter, and the ants are already in the right size test tube. So it was brilliant. So they immediately started exploring, but not in a panicked manner. This was definitely a bit of a surprise. You either get ants that won't come out for a while, ants that scurry out in a massive panic, but they don't normally just wander out like it's a normal day and they've done this 100 times. So I popped in a recently frozen, like flash frozen little fly to see what would happen, and they looked disinterested for the first 30 seconds. Then out of nowhere, one of them became rather interested, and then he took it upon himself to drag this fly inside. He got so far and then stopped for a little bit of crowd control, and some of the other ants had become interested in it, and one of them actually latched onto it, which caused them to stop in the first place. But once that grip had been given up, he took the fly the rest of the way in. By now, a lot more of the ants have come out exploring. None of them went up the vertical surface. They clearly could, but none of them did. It's a good sign that they're not immediately running up the glass, and the Outworld didn't feel too big either. They were spreading out across the Outworld pretty much straight away. It didn't feel oversized. So I put in the smallest little feeding dish I could find. This feeding dish is smaller than the nail on your little pinky finger, but it looks massive compared to them. And I dropped in some of the included honey water, which they absolutely loved, and they drank the whole lot. The whole droplet went down. And another thing about this Outworld, because it's white, their colour really does pop against it, because they're not little black ants. They're like little reddish brown gold. Obviously, the different opaqueness of their body makes different parts different shades of colour. But it was rather nice to see them. And the same effect happens here, where you can see through the test tube, and then the white shelving behind makes them pop once again. So my future plans for these, well, it's not a lot, because I'm not expecting them to outgrow the Outworld anytime soon. If ever, I'm just gonna wait until the test tube is so dirty or runs out of water, where I'll switch them into a foundation nest for a normal sized species, which to them could be a permanent home for their large colony. But we'll see how we go, because this is obviously a species that I don't have any experience with. I did plenty of reading before choosing the species, but that is all I have got going in. So I don't know how big they're going to grow, but I don't think they got a name like Acorn Ant if they're going to grow like Solenopsis. So I'm pretty confident that they're not going to outgrow any of the plans I've got. And I'm pretty confident that this Outworld is going to suit them for a very long time. And it fits into my collection just right, because I've got some small gaps along my shelves where I could fit in some species that don't grow massive and are quite self-contained in a single unit of a nest and an Outworld attached, and this species fit the bill of everything I was looking for. I do fancy getting an acorn, or even a video of them in an acorn in the wild from anywhere, just to see how exactly they're doing it. Do they like dig it out, like chew it out, hollow it? I'm not sure, but I would love to actually get an acorn, replicate whatever they do to it, so hollow it out, however they go about it, and see if I can't get them to move into it, so they live in the Outworld, in an acorn. That's just something that probably might not even work, but I'm definitely gonna start looking into it. It's just something too tempting to do when they're commonly known as acorn ants. I really want to get an acorn, maybe an oak, and see if I can't get them to use it as a nest. Have them like the acorn in the Outworld, and we can call it an all-in-one then. I don't know if it's me, so let me know in the comments below, but do you really find these nice, relaxing to look at? I just think it's really nice and relaxing, especially in so much turmoil going on in the world now, that just getting down and watching your ants for minutes really does make things seem not so bad. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and please subscribe and give me a like if you enjoyed the content, and I'll catch you next time.